I'm going to try to talk about Google and the Pixel 8 Pro for 8 minutes without getting worked up and annoyed. I'm already annoyed about something else that was happening earlier, a bad phone call I had to make to some vendor that didn't want to cancel my service, so I'm already worked up over that. I can't get my blood pressure any higher, but we're talking about Google. I'm going to risk it by talking about Google, and I think it's going to be okay. Because fundamentally, I have no problem with the Pixel 8 Pro. I liked it on release. I like it now. It's snappy. It does the job. I love the Google Pixel Extras. Software is good on it for the most part. They had a couple hiccups with some updates earlier in the year, but for the most part, it's been really good. And I think regardless of the price that you paid, even if you paid full price for this phone, $1,000 or more, I think you got value, at least equal matching value for your money with this device. The build quality is excellent, one of the best Pixels build-wise that they've put out. They've corrected the screen issue, nice and bright and vibrant, even more vibrant than the S24 Ultra, as goofy as that is to say in 2024. But overall, I really love it. I love the frosted glass on here. Just overall, I think Google nailed the hardware, and so far, so good with the software. So if you already own one of these, I think you're in a good spot. Now, if you don't own one of these and you're thinking about getting one, you've seen them for $799 out there. You're like, you know what? Maybe I'll think about a Pixel 8 Pro. I'm not going to say I have reservations, but I have some things going forward that I would be slightly worried about. The Pixel 8 Pro, when it comes to Google's AI, reminds me a little bit about the original iPhone. Was it nice and revolutionary and all the rest of it, which I don't even think AI is, but the iPhone was revolutionary. But we didn't have the iTunes Store, we didn't have the App Store, we didn't have apps on it the first year. You were an early adopter, and you kind of got left at the altar if you kept that device. If you upgraded to the iPhone 3G, different story, right? You got all those things. I don't want that to be the case with AI with the Pixel 8 Pro. I don't want to have the Pixel 8 Pro for a year. Okay, great. It gets the recorder summarize featuring. It could detect different people talking. That's great. Yes, it has the photo and video editing extras that you got with Gemini Nano that the Pixel 8 Pro has. Yes. But I feel like the real next steps and the heavy-hitting stuff that Gemini Nano is going to be able to do is going to be in the next year. It's going to be released with the Pixel 9 Pro. So if Google commits to giving Pixel 8 Pro owners those new features going forward, I have no issue. If they try to pull the nonsense like they pulled with the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 8a earlier in the year, where they didn't give the Pixel 8 the Gemini Nano at first, and then they caved on that, like the 7a owners and Pixel Fold owners are waiting in the woods somewhere for Gemini Nano. If that stuff starts to happen, then I have concerns. And I get a lot of comments saying, "Well, why do all the other manufacturers get this kind of energy for their mistakes, all the rest of it?" Everybody makes mistakes. I complain plenty about Samsung. I complain plenty about Apple. I complain plenty about Motorola. We just did that with the Moto G stylus. Here's the problem. Google has made AI the reason why you buy one of these devices, okay? The cameras are done. They're still excellent, but people caught up. The S24 Ultra has good cameras. The iPhone has good cameras. It's not 5 years ago, where if you wanted a decent smartphone camera, Pixel was one of the only games in town. Nobody cares about the photo stuff anymore. Camera's kind of done. AI is where they're going to start differentiating these devices. So here's the problem for Google. If you don't support these devices with AI for several years with the heavy-hitting AI features, there's nothing on this device to fall back on. Yes, is Samsung starting to get into AI with the S24 Ultra? Yes. Are they starting to feature that heavily on their devices? Yes. Will they have the same issue getting Galaxy AI to older devices? Yes. They tried it with the S22 Ultra, right? At first they said, we're not going to give it to the S22 Ultra. Powerful device, 2 years old. Are you kidding me? They eventually backtracked on that. Here's the difference. If Galaxy AI were to go away on the S24 Ultra, you still have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in there. You still have one of the most powerful smartphones in the world there. You still could do the high-intensity apps and the photo editing and the video editing, all the rest of it on there. You could do high-end gaming and not have a problem. Google can't fall back on that with Tensor 3. They've sold us on the fact that the reason why you buy one of these, the reason why we ignore benchmarks on Tensor and don't worry about the fact that it's not a gaming beast is because it has these AI efficiencies there. Okay? That's why you buy one of these. So if you have that setup and then you turn around after a year or 18 months or 2 years and tell us, hey, by the way, you're not getting the latest and greatest AI features, I've got a problem with that. Because my S24 Ultra 2 years from now is still a really powerful phone that's probably going to be able to do some high-end stuff. Tensor 3, I don't know. Gets the job done. It's snappy. The 120 hertz is amazing on this phone. Performance has been phenomenal. This is the best Pixel in years, but don't short me on the AI. And I want all companies, okay? Google specifically, because like I said, I think their phones rely heavily on that to begin with. But I want all companies, like we used to do with software updates, right? They used to say, well, it's 3 major upgrades of Android, but 4 years or 5 years of security updates. We need the same with AI. Here's how many Android upgrades you're getting. Here's how many years of security updates you're getting. Oh, and by the way, here's how many years we're promising you of full AI support. If they're going to start using that as a differentiating feature and a reason why we buy these smartphones, we have to know up front at the time of purchase, if you're asking us to pay $1,000 or $1,200, how long will this get the top AI features? And it's not like, well, how could they tell? Well, how can they tell it's going to get Android 17 and whatever else comes with that? They make it work. That's what they do. They're engineers. And AI, if anything, should be a little bit easier because you could offload some of that and make it cloud computing. It could happen server side with Magic Editor. Take the load off the processor in this device. Give us something concrete that you know you're going to be able to give us. Then I could say it's worth picking up a Pixel 8 Pro. Right now, I don't know. The way Google goes, they might get to the Pixel 9 Pro and say, oh, yeah, by the way, we're not supporting Gemini Nano 2 or the next step up Gemini Mini or whatever it is that's going to be on the Pixel 9 Pro. It's not going to come to the Pixel 8 Pro. And they're going to say, well, Tensor 4, it's got 2 AI cores, and this one only has 1 or something like that. They'll come up with some reason to do it and make you buy the new one. That's nonsense. That should be taken out of their hands. Make it less of a marketing thing by giving us a firm commitment on how many years of this is possible. Don't start with me on the AI stuff. I don't care if you like it or not. I don't care if you use it or not. It's going to be what differentiates these phones and adds the value in the next 5 years. So I don't particularly love it either. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, this is amazing. This is great. But I want it in the phones. If you're charging the money for it, I don't want them shortchanging us and giving them a free pass just because you don't use it. It affects everybody, whether you like it or not. So overall, hey, listen, straight A's on the Pixel 8 Pro. Love it. Wish as a company that would stay consistent all the way down the line and kind of continue this value and continue this performance and give us the confidence we need. Because as you see, I mentioned this in the last video, every single report or survey or poll that you see that comes out has Google last. Has Google customers the least satisfied of all. Or most people are going to switch, or whatever it happens to be. And it's because they're like, well, what do I care? What Google does marketing-wise. It makes a difference. It makes a difference to your phone. And, if you're somebody that already hates Pixel, I don't really want to hear from you. Because it's not about that. It's like when you talk about your family, you're like, oh, I could trash my family, but don't you trash my family. I'm not saying Google's family, okay, far from it. We have our differences. But these are phones that I would like to see improve because I like them. I like what they have to offer. I like their design a lot of times. It's a little goofy, but it's different, and I like it. So I'd like to see them improved. I'd like to see them survive, unlike an LG. But Google doesn't even seem like they care sometimes is the problem. So focus in, continue this, release a Pixel 9 Pro, or commit to support AI support to the Pixel 8 Pro, and give us a reason to believe. I think it's there. This was a great phone. Go back and watch the videos. I was so high on the Pixel 8 Pro when it released. And now I just don't know what direction the company wants to go in. And that affects everybody, including owners of Pixel 8 Pro. So just kind of come up with a clear roadmap, communicate it to us, and you'll give us confidence to spend $1,000 because hardware-wise and software-wise, it's worth it. But we got to know what's coming around the bend. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.